Boston Richie, C Stunner, you know, those guys, they, the whole game.
What song come to mind? As long as you stay passionate about what you believe in. Did you want to see?
Yeah, go see him.
I guess success.
Those are mine. In the back.
Let's talk about,
playing with pins?
I guess the culture. You know, coming from Florida culture, moving up north to Maryland. How it's adapting to that?
You said the culture of Maryland?
Yeah.
All right, so basically the culture of Maryland is very different from South Florida. You know, I'm a kid that's, you know, actually from South Florida, so there's a real thing called Southern hospitality. And, you know, every time I open the door, I say, you know, good morning. You know, the older people look at me like, morning? Like, I'm like, okay, you know, I kind of realize that that's not like a normal thing in the north, and also it's a lot colder there. This is the first time that I actually left Florida, and so actually, you know, having to experience all these different weathers and stuff was kind of crazy to me, but it all worked out.
Sure, I can only imagine. You said you played with Jermaine Johnson, Cam Akers.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that. You know, your boys you play with, you see them move on to the league. You keep in touch with them. How that relationship go?
Yeah, of course. I actually, you know, me and Cam, we kind of just, you know, we don't really talk that much, but, you know, of course, Jermaine, man, I feel like this is the best, you know, season right now of his career. He's doing great right now, getting sacks back-to-back weeks. You know, he's looking good, playing good, man. I'm really proud of him and stuff like that, and I just feel like by me being his locker mate, I'm kind of just, you know, happy to be able to see him do the things that he always wished he, you know, wanted to do, because I'm actually that kid that, you know, was, you know, sitting right behind him, you know, playing defensive end as well. And, you know, my locker was right next to his, so it gave me a chance to really hear his ambition and hear his goals and hear what he did every day to, you know, make sure he is where he is right now. And that's what I kind of took with me to Maryland. So
I always like to hear football players why, athletes in general. Why? What made you play this game and get to the level you're at now?
I feel like what made me, you know, continue to play this game is at first, you know, I had the love for it. You know, I started when I was in 2007, so 6 years old, and, you know, I just kind of played it. It was fun, and it was fun. And unfortunately, I'm one of those kids that kind of grew up in a single-parent household with no father, stuff like that, so I didn't really have anybody showing me the right way. And I kind of came from a city, you know, Fort Myers, Florida, home of Deion Sanders. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of came from a city where, you know, you don't make it out, and there's nobody to show you the right way. And I kind of, you know, just believed in my coaches, and I found out what Florida State really was, because I was that kid that I wanted to go to Florida State, but I didn't know what it was. And, you know, it kind of just in the lines of doing that, I was just a kid that was always goal-driven and just always understood what it took to get there. And I just, you know, made sure I did everything I had to do. So.
Me and Trey was on a golf course, and we were talking about, you know, I come from a background where, you know, I got a strong foundation with my mother, so it come from it's an extra grind when you put on that cleats in them pads, because, you know, at the end of the day, I do think us men, we need hugs at the end of the day. We need to be told, hey, you're doing a good job, besides football, because that's all our vision is get to the pros, get to the NFL. So what can you tell a young man who's struggling with just figuring himself out and trying to make it into this game? Because I can tell a man on camera, this game can open some doors if you approach it the right way. So what can you tell a young man who just need to hear some encouragement?
You know, one of the first things that I would say is, you know, I would just tell the kid, you know, figure out your why. And then, you know, also when you figure out that why, you have to think about, you know, the deeper reason behind it. You know, me, the reason I lace up my cleats, the reason that I put on my helmet is because I know that at the end of the day, the name on the back is the only thing that I have with me. You know, I was one of those kids that came to college and didn't have much. You know, my household family is just me and three. Me and three, that's it. Like the rest of my family, I didn't really have that. You know, family-oriented people. I'm very family-oriented, but my family wasn't, if that makes sense. Like, I was kind of like one of those kids in the family that, like, I'm first-generation student in college, and my mom tried to go to college, but she had a reason why she couldn't go. My dad's in prison. He caught life in prison when I was very young. And my older brothers, they flunked out. You know, there was always, you know, you had, like, all my people in my family are just, like, been so close but never did it. And they never did it because they didn't really understand their why. I understand my why because, you know, I understand that this is something that I have to do for us. You know, I kind of understood that at a young age that I'm the one that's going to have to make it right and kind of show like a different light in our family. So
yeah. Nah, hey, keep it going. Only thing I can say, because I got a little bit more years on you. Just always figure out what make you happy at the end of the day, because that shit get tough when you got to fend for everybody else in the household and in the family tree. At the end of the day, find what make you happy. Just elevate with it. Yeah. That's all I gotta say. I'm gonna get back to the little man.
All right, man. Appreciate it.
One thing I did want to ask before we break out of here. You talked a lot about ambitions and goals and whatnot. Who do you seek to, I guess, for mentorship? Who's your mentor, and what type of advice that they're giving you, I guess?
Right now, I would just say that my mentor is probably my defensive line coach, Coach Brian Williams. You know, he's a guy that, you know, has been coaching football at the University of Maryland, has been a defensive coordinator and a defensive line coach. He's also a Tallahassee native, and he coached here in 2013 when they won a national championship. And, you know, when I transferred from Florida State to the University of Maryland, it did nothing but make sense because he was a person that came from this Florida State football system. And my high school coach was James Chaney. He played right next to Odell Higgins. So, like, this whole football culture of the way they play football has been embedded in me since I started playing.
Word, man, I love it. Well, we in Pick Goods, whole lot of swag up in this building. You got on your billionaire boys club. You know, about to be a billionaire.
Of course, man, of course.
What type of swag you looking to pick up?
You know, I'm just hoping that, you know, I could grab me a couple of, like, you know, old vintage FAMUs. You know, gotta catch me a little Florida State little nice vintage hat. You know, gotta catch the Drows. You gotta get some Drows. If you don't get Drows, you come here like, that's kind of crazy. I ain't even gonna lie. Yeah.
All right, one last thing. What you listening to these days? When you put the uniform on, you put the helmet on, you running out to the field, what's on the playlist? First song, my song.
First song, Boston Rich. The whole album. The whole album.
No Kodak?
Kodak, my dog, of course.
But what's up?
Boston Richie, C Stunner, you know, those guys, the whole game.
What song come to mind though? You got one song.
Probably Bubba Man.
Bubba Man, oh, new joint.
Yeah. His whole album, Bubba Man, you know, Bragging Rights, all that. The whole album.
All right, it's a Rollup, it's a vibe, it's Quashon Fuller, my man.
That's all, man. Appreciate it.
God bless, bro. Likewise.
Get your ticket, you just gotta tell me what you saying. I need a vert, the summer coming in. If you trapping Bubba and you from Florida, then you bumping this.